Hey everybody, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Saturday, September 26th of the year 2020, and this is my 38th FlossTube. So as always, I want to welcome you all to my channel. Welcome back to all of you returning viewers and subscribers. I want to thank you as always for your continuing support, for coming back week after week to check in on me, to see where I'm at and what I've been up to. And of course, I also want to welcome to anybody that's visiting this channel for the first time. I hope that you like what you see and you find a reason to stay and subscribe and continue to follow me on my stitching journey. This week was definitely a busy week for me, so much so that I wasn't able to film a Stitch With Me video this week. Oh my god, my hair's just doing all sorts of weird things. I did get a few people reaching out to me, asking, where's the Stitch With Me at? I kind of mentioned this when I started filming them, but I'll just kind of reiterate, as much as I would like it to be a regular thing. I did mention that I was only going to film them if and when I was able to. It just so happened that since I started doing them, I had been able to make it a weekly thing, but I have been back in school for 4 weeks now. I started at the beginning of September, so we're now in full gear. We're kind of past that beginning stage where there's not that much workload, but things are definitely kicking up now. So obviously that's taking up more of my time, and it does need to take priority, unfortunately. So sorry if you were left hanging, if you were left waiting for that Stitch With Me. Thinking back on it, I think I probably should have made an announcement. I know that you can do posts here on YouTube, or maybe just post something on Instagram. I think I kept holding out hope that I was going to be able to do it, right? So I wasn't able to do it today, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow, and that just kept going until before I knew it was the end of the week. So again, I apologize. I will get those to you as often as I can. I think maybe what I can do is I can just film them during the weekend when I'm a little less busy and just post them during the week. We'll see. But having said that, I did keep stitching as much as I was able to, and this week I kind of want to do something different. I wanted to try to touch a lot of whips that I hadn't been able to work on in a while. So the first one that I picked up was one of my Chilton Crafts charts. This is Cinderella, based on the 2015 movie. So technically the name of the chart is Cinderella 2015. This is artwork by Daniel Kordek, which, I feel like a broken record, but if you watch my videos, then you know that he's my favorite artist from Chilton Crafts, or that works with Chilton Crafts. So most, if not all of my designs, my charts from Chilton Crafts are his. And I was able to do 500 stitches on that piece. I used it for one of my magical stitches homework, which ironically enough, the penalty stitch option this week was 450, so I did way more than I should have done. And I used this for a task where we needed to work on something that was nourishment for our soul. So I picked this chart because I love Disney, and I said, I can't live without any Disney in my life. So I'm still on the background. I'm still on a lot of blue. I had 1,000 stitches done on this before I picked it up this week. So now I have 1,500 stitches done, which ideally I wanted to get the equivalent of a page finish, which is 8,000 stitches done on this before the end of the year. I don't think that's gonna happen, but this was one of the unintended starts or surprise starts from back in July, where I had only intended to start 2, and I think I started like 5 or 6. So For those, I didn't really set a goal since I wasn't planning on starting it in the first place. The second piece that I worked on this week was, and this is in no particular order, this is just how I was, so how I had my my project bags handy. But this is Mini Midnight Stroll. The artwork is by Julie Fain. This is the Heaven and Earth Designs chart. And I'm using this for one of the ultimate tasks, the magical stitches, where you have to stitch 10,000 stitches to finish that task. So it's quite a hefty goal, but I think I'll be able to do it. I managed to do 750 stitches this week, so I would say it's a good start. It's still a lot of purple. It's obviously, as you can see from the chart, it's going to be a lot of different purple tones, but this right here, this kind of mark that kind of goes all along, this is already the outline of the moon, so that's kind of exciting. There's also a little spot, I don't know if you can tell, but there's like a little line over here of there's like 3 or 4 purple stitches over here. That's actually where the hand is gonna go. So since she has her arm stretched out, that's where the hand is. So it's kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting that it's gotten to the point where I can, it's starting to take shape, even if it's negative space, because I'm still working on the background. But that's really exciting, and that just tells me that those 10,000 stitches are really gonna make a difference if and when I'm able to get those done. The next part, the next width that I worked on was, again, going back to, I was trying to touch a lot of whips that hadn't really gotten that much love so far. I picked up my Mini Soaring Free 2 chart, and this is artwork by Joan Marie. This is one of the more popular Heaven and Earth Designs charts. I've seen a lot of people do this, and I just fell in love with all the colors. It's so many beautiful, bright colors. I knew I had to do it. And I can't remember if I started this in June or in August, because yeah, I can't, for whatever reason I have those two dates mixed up. But I was also doing this for another ultimate task of magical stitches. This one's only 2,000 as opposed to 10,000. I had 800 stitches done so far, and this week I managed to get all of the 2,000 stitches done. So this is what I have. Believe it or not, this is yeah, this is 2,000 stitches right here. I can't, like, I'm still not used to the 25 count. It's yeah, it's still really bizarre to think that there's that much done here, because I know that like I usually work with 18 count, so that's not nearly as much as like it would be a much larger area to do 2,000 stitches. The next width that I worked on, oh, I forget if I mentioned this, but for that one I also wanted to try to reach for page finish, the 8,000 stitches. So again, I don't think it'll happen, but I'm okay with it. I'm making progress on a lot more goals. Another chart that I haven't touched in a long time is my T chart by Anna Dittman. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs chart, and if you're not familiar with it, this is Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes. It's one of my all-time favorite shows, so I had to stitch this up. I couldn't pass it up. And that was a planned start back in July. So Cinderella wasn't planned, but this one definitely was. And I started this So both Soaring Free and this one, when I first started them, I tried doing the parking method, because I know that people swear up and down by them. For me, it didn't really pan out. So for both this one and on Soaring Free, I still had a lot of hanging threads from when I tried parking. So for both of them, the first goal was to, this is right here, yeah. So for both whips, the first thing I wanted to do was get rid of all the hanging threads, which I did. This is what I've done so far. For this one, I also stitched 500 stitches. Most of them went to this dark color over here, and I was impatient when I started this and I didn't grid, so that's also like, it's, if anything, it's making me stick to my original cross-stitching method, in which I just I'm building out from here. So I don't necessarily, I mean, for this one it was kind of an exception, because I just wanted to finish that color in this area, so I kept going with this one. But for the most part, I am sticking to just kind of building out from the bottom corner. And I started from the bottom left corner because the background on this is not stitched, so a lot of the white space that you see on the original design is not stitched at all. So I normally would start on the top right or top left corner, but since that wasn't a defined corner, I didn't want to have to count in order to start, so I just started on the bottom left corner instead. And yeah, and I did, since again for this one it was a planned start, I did want to reach 8,000 stitches from now until the end of the year, so you will see this you will see this back out eventually. Another piece that I worked on was, of course, as always, my Snow Girl piece from Tilton Crafts. I'm using this for a full coverage phonetics challenge, words, a challenge to stitch 20,000 stitches in the year 2020. I was able to stitch over 1,000 stitches this week because I was using it for a magical stitches task, so yay for double dipping. And T was also for a homework task from this week as well. But for Snow, it was one of the ultimate tasks as well. And this is driving me nuts. Is it driving you guys nuts? I'm sorry. But I kept going on the apple this week, of course. That's what I've been trying to focus on now. I was able to put in a couple of more brighter reds into the apple, so it's really coming out really nicely. And this is all gonna be black right here, all this confetti. So I did start on that confetti on this side of the apple, so now I just have to fill in the black on that side as well, and then that'll be it. This entire thing will be nice and filled in. So now I have a little under 1,000 stitches to go in order to reach that 20,000K or 20K goal. And this challenge is coming back next year. Obviously, though, it's going to be 21,000 because of 2021. But I'm super excited because that really helped help this piece get along. It's kind of hard to believe because this has been one of the few whips that I've been working on regularly all year, so it's kind of hard to believe that it's gonna be going away soon, even though it's still gonna come back out in January, because I'm gonna just go ahead and reset all the goals, give each whip new goals, so it's gonna come back out, but it's gonna go away for a couple months. Another whip that I worked on this week was my Frankenstein style, which we're in part 2 now. And the border didn't technically count as a part. It was just kind of like a prequel. I don't know. She released the border when you signed up. So it's technically, I guess, 3 parts, but she's calling this one part 2. Part 2 is these next 2 squares right here. So I don't know if you can see, but I did do a border on the DMC variated thread. It's 4522, and yeah, this was one of the pieces that I just work on when I'm on Zoom, because they're nice and quick and easy, and I don't have to count that much. This motif right here has a snowflake. Well, at least I think it's a snowflake. It makes sense to me that it's a snowflake, so I'm calling it a snowflake. And then this has a guitar with like a book, which, like, I don't want to spoil it for the people that haven't read the book, but it does have to do with what goes on in the story. But yeah, I'll go ahead and keep working on this, so hopefully next time you'll see at least one motif finished, because it's been fun. I'm kind of sad because I know that next part is probably gonna be the next 2 squares, and then that's it, we'll be finished. But we'll have to see. We might do something with the border here as well. I don't know. I'll have to see. But it's coming to an end soon, whether I like it or not. Lastly, it is still Sampler September, so I did pick up the first sampler that I started ever. This is 3 Things Sampler by Moira Blackburn, and I started this back in the middle of July. So again, July was just all sorts of starts, planned and unplanned. This was planned, and funnily enough, like going back to, I kept having hopes that I was able to film a stitch with me. So I worked on this during the week, and I set it up so that I could use it for a stitch with me. So what I worked on this week was, this is what I have so far. So this week I did this little leaf over here, but then the main thing that I focused on was doing the outline of the flowers over here on the border. And I purposely only did the outline because I thought that would be a nice thing to, like a nice easy stitch for a video, because all I would have to worry about is just filling it in, because all this is just one color inside of the flowers. So I just thought, cool, I'll do the outline, you know, off camera, and then I'll do the filling when I'm filming a video. So I'm still gonna use this for a stitch with me, but again, I kept having hopes that I was able to find time, but I just didn't. So yeah, so you'll probably see that coming out soon, if I am able to film a stitch with me. One last hurrah before Sampler September is over with. Can't believe we're over. It's already October. I was talking to some stitchy friends about like planning for the next year, and some of them were kind of shocked. They're like, what do you mean you're already planning for next year? I'm like, well, it's only 2 months away. Like, at this point it's just well, okay, October, November, and December, 3 months away. But it's gonna be here before we know it. So what I am gonna do for October though is, if you remember me talking about 2021 plans, back when both Full Coverage Fanatics and Magical Stitches revealed their plans for next year. Magical Stitches is going to do Percy Jackson next year. So for Magical Stitches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus more on the year-long tasks, as I am now, instead of like the weekly ones. I may still do a couple, especially for Enchanted Stitching, because for Enchanted Stitching, they do allow you to use a time equivalent instead of a stitch count to finish your tasks. So those are great for the ones that I have like a hard copy pattern of, so the ones that I don't have Pattern Keeper to keep my stitch count for me. But for the most part, I will focus on the long-term challenges. And so this month for October, I'm gonna kind of start doing that. So usually what I do at the end of every month is I calculate what the stitch count would be for each of my whips in order to reach their goals. For October, I decided I'm only going to focus on a select number of whips. I picked 6 whips to focus on, and obviously I might still bring out other patterns here and there, but I picked 6. So the ones that I picked were my Hogwarts Castle, because I do want to reach 80,000 stitches by the end of the year. I picked my Moon Charmer, and for Moon Charmer I did decide to go ahead and cut down the goal from 50k to 40k, so the average stitch count was brought to 1400, which is a lot more manageable than what it used to be. I also am going to focus on Bilbo, because when I started that piece back in January 1st, it was my New Year, New Start piece. I did want to finish it before the end of the year, so I'll go ahead and focus on that one. I'll also focus on the fairy that I showed you today. As I mentioned, I want to reach 10,000 stitches at least for that ultimate task. So I will go ahead and bring her out more regularly. I'll also focus on 2 that I haven't really worked on that often. I did bring out the Disney Villains piece a little while ago for a weekend event in Full Coverage Fanatics, but I do want to finish at least that panel with the Evil Queen before the end of the year. So she was my next one. And then lastly, I'm going to bring out a piece that I really haven't worked on that much this year, which is my Change of Seasons chart by Mystic Stitch. Fall did begin officially this week, and the chart is a tree in going through all four seasons, and the top left season, which is the one that I started on, is fall. So I feel like that's also motivating. I'm like, okay, I need fall stitching, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring out Change of Seasons. Ideally, I'll have an 1/8 of the chart done by the next by March, like the end of February, because I when I started this with Zakiyah, Lady Wing Designs, this leap day, the purpose was to finish it not by the next one in 4 years, but the following one in 8 years. So yeah, so those will be my main focuses. You will see those more regularly here, but again, I will go ahead and still bring out other pieces, especially those that are the hardcover patterns. So because again, enchanted stitching does give you the option to use time, so those are a lot more easier to deal with in that sense. But yeah, that's all that I have for now. Again, I did get some done, some stitching done, just by being busy. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and film. I think I'll I kept thinking about the Stitch With Me, so I think I will go ahead and film those during the weekend and just post them, so that way you can at least get it. But again, I'm not making any promises, because weekends are also the times that I used to catch up on housework and other things. But anyway, I do want to say thank you for visiting me this week. If you have any questions or comments about anything that you saw today, feel free to drop me a line. as always, I'm a little behind on my comments, but I am trying to catch up. So if you get a reply to like a comment from a month ago, that's me trying to catch up on my comments, because I do appreciate those. So I want to wish you guys a good weekend. I hope you have a restful weekend, a productive week, and that you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. So until next time, guys, bye.